seat. Oh, we've got two Jimmy and Aggie couch review. Smiles aplenty, oh, maybe few, but all new things we'll see and do. Kino sights, lovely sounds, experiences you found. Share them with us both. You have now many more our show will craft. Join up with us hand in hand, all lined up like marching band. It's the Kino that you asked for, you demand. Simian and Jimmy and Eggy Man. I said Simian and Jimmy and Eggy Man.
What is up, my fellow bored children, and welcome back to the Mumky and Eggy Brain Trust. That's right, we're the smartest people, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. There's another great debate that our minds need to solve, Eggy. People think that the live-action 2003 Cat in the Hat movie is not good. Do we agree? We need to solve this one once and for all, folks. That's right, it's another paid edition of the couch. Whatever. Eggy?
Jimmy and Aggie couch review. All new cats in hats we'll see. And
That didn't rhyme at all.
well, yeah. I was gonna say do, but I'm not gonna do Mike Myers unless he's in an Austin Powers outfit.
We need Shane Dawson, a man who knows a thing or two about doing a cat.
Woo! I'm more of the Ray William Johnson type. You know, doing
What did
the
he
mom,
do to his cat?
doing the mom. I mean, I listen. All I'm saying is the Whoville aesthetic. You know, with like their giant upturned noses. Historically speaking, in my real life, I like women with giant downturned noses. So the Whoville, it really gets me in a different state of mind. And I think also anthropomorphic cats that are like 7 feet tall and can pull magical things out of vortexes or whatever. I don't really remember how the movie goes. Maybe I was a little traumatized. My brain might have.
So you have not seen this in a long time. You can't even answer the question yet. Because I'm coming into this from the position that I've seen this movie many, many times, and I quite love it.
I think I saw it in theaters, actually, when it first came out, and I feel like there was a reason I've watched it in the last 5 years. It's very vaguely, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's like one particular plot point that I can vaguely recall. Otherwise, I think I'm going to really be coming into this with fresh eyes, maybe a fresh anthropomorphic shift change. Maybe I'll just start transforming during the movie like Animorphs.
Well, here's the lore of the film as far as I can recall, and I'm probably making some stuff up, but I do believe the film was considered so bad that the Dr. Seuss estate said we will never allow a live-action adaptation of a Dr. Seuss book ever again. And even after this, like, because there was the Jim Carrey Grinch, then this is a few years later, kind of the same idea. Let's take a famous comedian and put him in the most absurd makeup and do this Dr. Seuss comedy. But they were so offended by Cat in the Hat, they said never again. And then, we had to wait for, I think you said Horton Hears a Who was an animated one. We got the Lorax. But have we ever had another live action? Has this film caused 23 years of damage that we never got another great live action movie?
I'm pretty sure that's right. And also, as I recall, before going into this here, I think that the direction and the cinematography was similar to that of the Grinch. So I don't know why the Grinch was such a... was it just the Mike Myers, Jim Carrey element? I mean...
I think it's the style of comedy in the two films, whereas the Grinch really is a Christmas movie, and this is an absurdist, disgusting, depraved, offensive Mike Myers comedy. And I think extra lore is that he did not want to make this movie, but he was contractually obligated to do it. So even like the main star of a comedy... He just does not want to be there, and perhaps that adds to the tone of the film, the dark children's comedy tone that perhaps most kids and parents were not ready for. Maybe that's why the Rotten Tomatoes is 10% critics and like 50% audience. But as an edgy 8-year-old, I fucking loved it then, and I think there are some standout scenes in this movie that are all-time comedy movie greats that very obviously stick out as being so.
Well, I just want to say this. You're saying it's got a 10% fresh from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah. So rotten, not fresh.
We're at the point now, I think, in 2025, where just simply the effort that it took to practically turn a man into a giant hatted cat is so much more than what a lot of films are doing nowadays. And so I think it really goes to show just where our
perception has shifted for our tastes and everything. So I'm coming into this, maybe I'm going to have a little bit of a positive bias as a result compared to current year slop.
Have you seen the 2019 Cats musical?
I saw James Corden. Wasn't he castrated for the film or something?
They didn't go through with the Mike Myers makeup that they have here. It's very much CGI effects, and it was hideously ugly. People complain about this being freakish, but at least they put in the effort, and hopefully this got like an Oscar nomination for makeup like Suicide Squad did.
I'm pretty sure it got a Razzie nomination, if I'm not mistaken, but
many movies have gotten both. But my point is, even when they get lazy and only do CGI, it looks uglier and worse. The Cats movie is my example. So if anything, I appreciate the practicality, like you're saying, and the human effort that goes into it. No more computer bullshit, okay? I want to see, even if it's worse, I want to see stuff that was made by humans. And with that being said, let's watch perhaps the greatest film of 2003, The Cat in the Hat! Rated R. And DreamWorks was owned by Steven Spielberg, so again, we have the great master of cinema to thank for this film. Another point I wanted to make in the intro was that, in my opinion, the film is so good, everybody involved should get a get-out-of-jail-free card. And you'll notice Alec Baldwin is in the movie, so maybe this is what happened.
Dr. Seuss's wife died, and I think he remarried immediately or something to a woman 20 years younger.
I think she was dying of cancer, and he found a much sexier woman at that time, which I can't really blame him. If I'm a famous children's author, I got that money, that wealth, that power, and this old woman's dying of cancer, can't satisfy my Dr. Dick no more.
So you see, my wife, she was a little woozy, therefore I had to contract me a floozy.
And just to be fair, I did want to compare this to the book. So this morning I turned on a YouTube video of a British guy reading the book, and it was so boring I turned it off in less than a minute. So I've lasted longer with this movie intro than the actual book.
Save it, Conrad. Why today? Why did you have to pick today to
I once knew a guy named Conrad. Once.
Would you say this Conrad maybe also is somebody who would make sure to keep the dress from getting dirty?
The greatest American hero finally arrives. He can do no wrong. He could shoot a woman on 5th Avenue and he wouldn't lose any fans.
You tell the boy, Joe. No more big government.
I like how they're dubbing in kung fu noises over the Chinese government.
Do you think kids today still get bored, Eggy, now that they just have iPads and phones with the internet available? Is there any excuse to get bored?
Then something went bump.
Well, I don't know about boredom. From the anecdotal things that I read on r/teachers, when children don't have their iPads for more than 60 seconds, they become violent and feral and start punching each other. So I don't know if that's how they cope with boredom. It sounds like it might be a neurological disability from dopamine blasting from infancy.
Is that our plan for the Cat in the Hat reboot when we make the new live action? Is the kids aren't bored, they're just addicted to their iPad, and the cat teaches them how to have fun without technology?
I think it would be topical, innovative, and whatever Seuss's are still alive should definitely consider it. I think that it would mesh with Dr. Seuss's legacy as being an author.
And this even reflects his legacy of Asian racism, because they put Miss Kwan in the movie.
They put her in watching Chinese government making kung fu noises.
And dreaming about being at the casino.
Humongous. I prefer the term big bomb to jolly. Well, what are we hiding from?
One of the few good translations of cartoon logic into live action. Like, this movie, I think, nailed every joke.
Hello! Surf's up!
Yeah, how many kids died trying to do this scene? Uh-oh. The cat gets horny for their mom. Like, when I'm 8 years old in the theater, what am I supposed to make of this?
His fucking hat gets an erection.
There's a centerfold of their mom in the family frame photo.
Canonically, the Cat in the Hat has a giant penis under his hat.
on, babies. That's disgusting.
Classic line that had stuck with me for years.
I do it for nothing.
I remembered it as I do it for free, so I'm glad I didn't try to say it before he did.
She was gonna wear that tonight and you ruined it.
Honey, it was ruined when she bought it.
I did just see this clip on social media recently.
I do recall my mom forcing my little brother and I into Thing 1 and Thing 2 costumes, Aggie. Did your parents have the same unfortunate lack of creativity and imagination?
Well, on account of the fact that my younger brother is 6 years younger than me, thankfully the size difference was almost always too great for us to ever be put together in that way.
Yeah, this coming out when I was 8 and he was 6 was the ideal time to force us into that. I don't think we had the fucking hair and all that, though. It's probably just shirts.
Then I also stopped trick-or-treating, I think, when I was 12 years old because I pretended to stay home and give out candy. I would turn the lights off and play video games until I saw them pulling in the driveway, and then I would like give all the candy away to like the first kid that came, just give him like the whole bucket.
Just dump it into his bag.
Yeah.
Now, people being upset with the cat makeup, I don't agree with, but these two freaks, they did something I think that should be illegal with whatever's happening with their design.
They kind of look like the average barista in 2025.
God. It looks like if it was a woman, she'd have like way more gums than teeth if she smiled.
I think the extended smoothened philtrum is a symptom of fetal alcohol syndrome, so I don't
Yes.
know. Maybe also the erratic behavior.
See, maybe I'm racist in a way, because when the cat does hijinks and makes a mess, I enjoy it. But when the things do it, it gives me a sick feeling, like I want to kill them. I want to cause horrible pain and suffering to Thing 1 and Thing 2. But I guess it's giving these kids the perspective of what it's like to be the parent, to have two gremlin children.
True. And, it is an accurate representation for all my fellow non-breeders out there of what the average child is like in any social situation in 2025 without their iPads. They just immediately go into feral mode.
Another reminder to never have kids.
Okay, wait a second. Things redeemed.
But the things always do the opposite of what you say.
Why do they always do the opposite? It's so annoying. Remind you of anyone, Conrad?
Conrad, keep being a boy.
Dirty hoe. I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
I don't recommend tongue kissing the dirty hoe.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, he pays a certain amount to Universal every so often to retain ownership of his Mr. Freeze costume from Batman. I would like to think that somewhere somebody's paying to keep this set piece vehicle as a piece of memorabilia because...
We should look it up. Maybe it was on eBay or something at some point, some auction.
Well, the first result is that it's actually in some kind of Cat in the Hat museum display.
Oh, cool. Where can we see that? We should go visit in person.
Illinois.
Oh my God, what?
Volo Auto Museum.
Wow, that's probably a 4-hour drive from here. I guess we know what we're doing today. So
Right.
close at 5. We better leave.
Yeah, coincidentally very fortunate that it both exists and is in a museum within driving distance.
Should we have a heist and steal it for ourselves? Make it run. Do you think the mom would get fired if they came over for a party and it was just a pocket dimension into a magical universe?
Yep. Pure, unadulterated.
Does that count as a mess at that point?
I just watched this informative movie about CEOs, and so I think the CEO of Humberflube, he would just not have the humor or the humanity, really, to enjoy what they've been able to create here. He'd probably be like, oh, there's not enough masks and social distancing, I'm going crazy, oh, you're fired.
Alec Baldwin sees the CEO and says, I gotta shoot somebody in the head. Well, Aggie, we just finished The Cat in the Hat, and the question for the Brain Trust today was, are the critics in public wrong? Is this a true work of Kino? And now that you've rewatched it, I'm dying to know your answer, Aggie.
Well, I gotta say, this film was significantly better than I remembered it being, to be honest. I think, like, as I was watching it, there's a couple of those moments, like the hairball moment or the infomercial moment that were very heavily cherry-picked for, like, the commercial back in the day, so some of these things are seared into your mind. Mm-hmm. And really, those were not, like, the best bits by any stretch of the imagination. I think, just speaking of imagination, a really good use of set design and the CGI, it feels perfectly fine when they are using it. The whimsical nature of it all, and then the cat's, magical powers to do with his hat and so on. It was really captivating, I have to say.
I'm surprised you did not love the Cupcakeinator infomercial. I think that's a standout scene for sure that I see posted on Twitter all the time, going viral, like, wow, we were too harsh on this movie if it has little scenes like this. And there are lots of funny moments that have stuck with me since I was 8. Everything with the babysitter is good. And yeah, I think it holds up as a perfectly entertaining movie. Perhaps not as funny as I was hoping it would be. There's lots of just sitting here in silence, really, not laughing as much as I should have. But I'd say 3 out of 5 is probably fair. I have no idea how it was shit on so much that it would get a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. That should be reserved for movies with really no redeemable qualities. But Mike Myers, for not wanting to make the movie, he's bringing the comedy for sure.
Yeah, he's it's his movie. He's the title character. His energy and his chops are above and beyond. Alec Baldwin, he does fine. He plays his role. It's kind of a simplistic, antagonistic sort of two-faced role. There's nothing super innovative about it.
Well, I like that he's willing to get disgustingly filthy, and at the end he's covered in purple slime and he's sneezing the snot and it's all on his face. Really gross and disgusting. So good for him for having a sense of humor about himself to get all gunked up.
Right, and implying that he has dentures and a morbidly obese, disfigured body, and is losing his television because he doesn't have any money, he can't pay any of his bills.
He goes to his neighbor girlfriend's house to steal a 6-pack of beer. Like, what is she going to think? Did she buy that for him? Why does the single mom even have that 6-pack of beer?
You know what? Wine might be all the rage nowadays, but in Whoville, it's they got a lot more magical things to work with, so beer might be the better choice there.
Speaking of the great set design, there's also the phenomenal slow car, the Cat in the Hat's exclusive special car, and we looked it up during the showing, and it's actually in a museum. Isabel, thank you for rubbing up against the tripod. The slow car that they actually built, these days it would probably be some CGI bullshit, but no, 2003, they build practical cars and crazy things, and it's in a museum, evidently, 5 hours from where we are now, just one state away. Maybe we'll waste 11 hours round-trip driving to go look at a prop from this movie.
If we go over that direction, wasn't there like a one-piece restaurant in that, like in Illinois too?
Hey, yeah, it's all probably just around Chicago. So, hey, maybe look forward to a Mumky and Eggy get off the couch video, a true road trip. Isabel, what'd you think of the Cat in the Hat?
She's giving us some looks here.
You can sit anywhere other than touching the tripod.
She was really wanting to, I think she might have moved me out of the frame by about maybe 2 inches.
By
right
pushing
there.
it, yeah.
So, yeah, I think she enjoyed the film. She was rested up on the couch and as attentive as she could be from there, during the film. So I think Mike Myers really put a spell over her and really had her in the film. Once the film is over, that's the first time she got down to start moving the tripod again. That's so, right. Cat approved.
Goes right back to it. Well, should we cut to our friend Hartsy Protsy and see what he thinks of the film?
I would love to.
Hello, I'm Nostalgia Hartsy, and I remember it so you don't have to. Do you remember 2003's Cat in the Hat? Man, I loved this movie as a kid. I remember it for being surprisingly raunchy for a PG movie, so much so that I didn't even know what most of the jokes meant as a kid. I vividly remember the first time I saw this movie. It was during a family movie night, and I remember some of the jokes being so crass that my mom actually got mad at the movie and turned it off. Talk about a first impression. And I was the type of kid that was drawn to anything that my parents did not like me watching, so I was immediately captivated. So even though I didn't understand a good amount of jokes in this movie, I still really liked it. So does this childhood classic of a movie to me still hold up today, even despite its horrible ratings? Let's find out. Keep in mind, I'm also someone who likes the live-action Grinch, another Dr. Seuss adaptation that was reviewed horribly. So take that as you will. This movie stars Mike Myers as the titular Cat in the Hat and follows him as he trolls the ever-living fuck out of these two kids repeatedly for an hour and 20 minutes. The best way to describe this movie is that it's a series of disjointed comedy bits performed by the cat, which are very loosely connected by a weird thread of these fatherless kids and the weird beef between them and the villain of the movie. The villain, of course, is this purple guy. He's played by the legendary actor Alec Baldwin, but I like to call him Quick Hand Baldwin. Dr. Seuss's character designs always look freaky when translated to live action, and by always, I mean the 2 times it was tried. And just like the live action Grinch, I gotta applaud the effort that at least went into trying to translate the main character into live action. But whereas the freaky, uncanny look works for the Grinch, it does not at all for the cat in this movie. And that's not even to mention when the things come in midway into the movie. I hate just looking at them. I mean, I know they were working with early 2000 CGI, but still, I can defend that. Aside from the cat and the things, there's also the talking goldfish Klaus. But who cares, man? I was really looking forward to revisiting this movie for this review, but turns out the movie with a bad rating that I enjoyed as a kid is still, in fact, bad today. Who would think? Maybe it'd be better if I watched it on 2 times speed while scrolling through Instagram Reels like I usually do when watching movies, but I wanted to do my due diligence for my good friend. But aside from a few out-of-pocket clips that made me smirk, this really was not worth my precious time.
Dirty hoe! I'm sorry, baby, I love you.
I could have spent that hour and 20 minutes grinding Blox Fruits, or applying for jobs, or playing Binding of Isaac, or applying for jobs, or reading One Piece, or applying for jobs, or working on videos, or applying for jobs. Wait a second. Why does the script say applying for jobs that many times? I didn't write that.
It was me, the evil job fairy. I hacked your Google Docs account and wrote that all into the script. You've been in NEET for far too long, and it's time to meet your reckoning.
Oh god, it's the evil job fairy. If I stick around any longer, he's gonna force me to get a job, and then I'll be employed. I gotta get out of here.
Wow, great opinions, Hartsy, once again. So glad to have your input. Eggy, any other thoughts on the film?
For some reason in my mind, I just thought I was feeling like it was below average. Pleasantly surprised it was above average, I would say. Definitely, it's got a couple kind of adult bits of humor in there. But
I'd say more than a couple. There's a lot of jokes that 8-year-old me... I mean, maybe I did get it. I mean, he's about to say a bad word and doesn't. I assume I understood what bad words were when I was 8. And a lot of the bits he's doing are just stolen from his other work. Like, Shrek has the exact same moment where he's about to say, like, oh, I had to save my ass, and then he starts falling down a thing. Same thing happened when they were riding the Miss Kwan.
I feel like, I haven't watched Wayne's World in probably 20 years, but...
The product placement joke is straight out of that as well.
The guffaws are very Austin Powers.
Yes, yes.
So, I can appreciate, as a man who... I have a lot of repetition in my bits, or like in my personality even, really. I can appreciate that you would work different pieces of your different characters into a character that you're taking from an established material, and you're still able to really represent that character from that base material, and then also add some of your own elements into it. I think you did that well.
But can you see why maybe Mrs. Seuss might see, oh, the Cat in the Hat was turned into Austin Powers mixed with Fat Bastard mixed with Church Lady? I guess I could see why they think that the spirit of their story was affected, but again, as somebody who wants to be entertained by media, I don't think that the Cat in the Hat book, having the life lesson of it's fun to have fun, but you have to have fun in a very specific way. And kids, just because you think it's fun doesn't mean you're doing something good. I think that the movie version told the story better, was more entertaining, and I didn't give up on the audiobook after a minute. So, you know what, Mrs. Seuss? You're wrong. They made your book better.
I feel like you're just not going to be able to grab the imagination of, even when this movie was released, that generation of children with like a very sterile sort of 1950s approach. That's fine to have the book there for like the young elementary children, but I think that the sense of humor here is perfect for like a junior high, maybe like late elementary sort of sense of humor. So I think that they really hit perfectly for that audience, and it's like the perfect thing for a child who was used to that material as very young, and then it's now adapted to something that they're more suited for. I think that they really got it right.
Any final thoughts on The Cat in the Hat?
Hey, you know what? If you have a child ages 8 to 11 in your life and they haven't seen it, I think they'll really enjoy it. You should sit them down for it. Otherwise, just generally speaking, I think a 3 out of 5, maybe a light 6.5 out of 10 would be where my compass falls here.
Hey folks, anything else you want to make us watch? You can make it happen by shooting us up, not the way Alec Baldwin would. Email us, simianjimmybusiness@gmail.com with your idea, your pitch. It's only $100. We'll get back to you if we like it.